Welcome to San Francisco News. My name is Diane Wesley Smith. We are honoring Black history, and we will continue to honor Black history because Black history is 365 24/7. I tell you, it's absolutely amazing. We are an amazing people. God has truly blessed us. In the midst of everything, we continue to rise. Today, we are honoring Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick was an NFL quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why I have to read that. I know that. But he was a quarterback for our 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, for 5 years until 2016. He is most famous for protesting black inequality and refusing to stand for the national anthem during the game, during an NFL game. Uh, Although he was a rising football star, Colin became a cultural icon when he brought social justice to the field. Kaepernick wound up involved in a debated issue when he would not kneel during a preseason NFL game in late August 2016 when the national anthem was playing. In an interview, he explained the reason for his actions. I am not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. The move ended getting him blacklisted from the NFL. Well, you know, whenever black people speak up, the first ones that speak up are usually the ones penalized. He was a trailblazer, forerunner, and so you get blacklisted. But okay, the blacklisted is a good list for one to be placed on, because that means that you stood for something. You stand for something. You're representing something. It might not be popular, but in your heart of hearts, you know that it's right, and you've been called to do it, and you must do it. And that is, to sum up, Colin Kaepernick. His heart was called. It was on his conscience. And let me just read again what he said. Why he's not going to stand for the national anthem. I'm not going to stand up to show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. And to repeat, the move ended up getting him blacklisted from the NFL because a lot of the owners did not want to anger their fan base by having a controversial quarterback. Yes, Massa. No, we won't say anything, Massa. I don't think so. And I'm sure that's how Colin Kaepernick felt. I know this. Since August 2016, some American athletes have protested against police brutality and racism by kneeling on one knee during the U.S. national anthem. Beginning in 2017, many players also protested against former President Donald Trump's criticism of those involved in the protests. We now know that Trump doesn't know any better and is suffering from mental health issues. Some observers have described the protests as politically motivated or patriotic and have praised, the majority have praised the players' social awareness, while others have criticized the attention given to social issues. So what is that? Like someone said, don't talk, just play ball, just dribble, just pass. So they have a problem with, and they're criticizing the social issues during sporting events and call the protests unpatriotic and disrespectful. What is more patriotic than fighting for human rights? What is more patriotic and what is more respectful than fighting for the rights of those black people who have been murdered and people of color who have been murdered and mistreated because of their color? The act itself has become widely referred to as taking a knee or taking the knee. Historical fact, there are pictures of Dr. Martin Luther King and several others kneeling. We kneel to pray. Also, the protests began in the National Football League, and after San Francisco's our quarterback, uh, Colin Kaepernick, sat and later knelt during the anthem before his team's preseason game in 2016. Throughout the following seasons, members of various NFL and other sports teams have engaged in similar silent protests. On September 24, 2017, the NFL protests became more widespread than ever. 200 players sat or knelt in response to former Trump's call for the owners to fire the protesting players. I don't know why I had a flashback of a slave master. Nevertheless, moving right along. The little background about the national anthem. It is a tradition in the United States to play the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem, before sporting events, according to the United States Code. Those present can stand at attention with right hand over heart. The National Football League players were not mandated to be on the field for the playing of the national anthem until 2009. In 2016, the NFL stated that players are encouraged but not required to stand during the playing of the national anthem. Its game operations manual reads that players should stand for the anthem. The people of the United States are widely divided on so many areas right now, and on the intended meaning of the anthem. Some believe it salutes the military and police officers who have died on duty. For others, it honors the United States generally. Between 2012 and 2015, the Department of Defense gave $6.8 million to teams across all major sports in exchange for holding various military and patriotic events at their games. So, between 2012 and 2015, the U.S. Department of Defense gave $6.8 million to teams across all major sports in exchange for holding various military and patriotic events at their games, including the performance of the national anthem. Kaepernick and his 49ers teammate Eric Reed. It's Eric Reed. I don't have a picture of him right now, but the other black man that's kneeling with Kaepernick, who had the guts to stand up when Kaepernick did, or to kneel. They had the guts to kneel along with Kaepernick. His name is Eric Reed. Said they chose to kneel during the anthem to call attention to the issues of racial equality and police brutality. After hours of careful consideration and even a visit from Nate Boyer, the retired Green Beret and former NFL player, we came to the conclusion that we should kneel rather than sit during the anthem as a peaceful protest, said Reed. We chose to kneel because it's respectful. It's a respectful gesture. I remember thinking our posture was like a flag flown at half-mast to mark a tragedy. Some regard kneeling as disrespectful to those who have died or have been wounded in service in the United States. It's not that. Such as police officers or military veterans. It's not that. It is totally, that's in a totally different category. Torrey Smith, a wide receiver, there's no disrespect to police officers or military veterans who have died in the line of duty, and no disrespect to all good officers. We've got some rotten apples that's making it bad for everyone. Okay, moving right along. Torrey Smith, a wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, said in an interview, I understand why people are offended by people protesting the national anthem. My father served 25 years. When he dies, he's going to be wrapped in an American flag. But my dad also, out of the Army, said he drives trucks all over the country. He's a black man everywhere he goes. And sometimes has racial incidents still today. That doesn't protect him just because he served our country. And I think that's important. Kaepernick said on numerous occasions that the sole purpose of kneeling during the national anthem is not to disrespect the military personnel at all, but rather this is his goal to use his social platform to bring topics regarding police brutality and oppression of people of color to light. I'm not going to get up to show pride in a country that oppresses black people and people of color, Kaepernick has said on numerous occasions. Kaepernick has expressed his concerns about his actions having been labeled as anthem protests, since he considers this to be a diversion strategy from the critics to deviate. We have to watch diversion strategy to deviate the discussion from what really matters. I am not protesting the anthem or the nation. I'm protesting organized brutality. To me, this is much more than football, and it would be selfish to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. Well said, Kaepernick. Our sentiments exactly. Why do they kneel? As if we don't know already. Protesters are demanding police accountability. Criminal justice reform is just one of the top issues. It's just one of the top issues. Kaepernick was initially moved to protest the deaths of African Americans at the hands of police while in police custody. These deaths gained prominence through the media and the Black Lives Matter movement. We had no choice but to have a Black Lives Matter movement because Black lives weren't mattering. People were being murdered brutally, and we watched 8 minutes of George Floyd being murdered by the police. We watched it. We watched it because we had to. Black Lives Matter has nothing to do with any other race other than black lives, and people of color's lives matter too. During a post-game interview on August 26, 2016, he stated, "I'm not going to stand up and show pride in a flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color. To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder," adding that he will continue to protest during the anthem until he feels like the United States represents what it's supposed to represent. After that interview, Mr. Kaepernick pledged $1 million, pledged to donate the first $1 million of his $11 million salary in 2016-2017 season to different organizations that help communities. He pledged to donate $100,000 per month for 10 months to various organizations. Days later, San Francisco matched Kaepernick by pledging $1 million to 2 organizations addressing racial and social inequity. Kaepernick has been following through on his commitment and has donated $900,000, and this is as of September 2017. This is the Black History segment. We will update because there obviously is several layers to honoring Black history and Colin Kaepernick, Mr. Colin Kaepernick. He donated $900,000 to Meals on Wheels, United We Dream, Black Veterans for Social Justice, and many others. Kaepernick also held Know Your Rights camps for young people of color. The camp includes legal education from attorneys that give advice on how to interact with police when being detained, and lectures from prominent academics on the history of the civil rights movement in the United States. The National Football League Association named Kaepernick Week 1 Most Valuable Player in 2017. Some major celebrities have matched Kaepernick's donations, including basketball players, our own Steph Curry, which doesn't surprise us. Serena Williams, Kevin Durant, Snoop Dogg, Meek Mill, and Usher, to name just a few. Commentators pointed out that players are about 70% black, and all but 6 out of 64 coaches and general managers are white. When the 49ers announced their team awards, Kaepernick was the recipient of the Les Eshmont Award, given to the 49er who best exemplifies the inspirational and courageous play of Len Eshmont, an original member of the 1946 49er team. The award was established after Eshmont died in 1959 and is considered the most prestigious honor the players vote on. Colin Kaepernick may not have a job on the football field, but much of the world is still cheering for him. Amnesty International, the global human rights organization, gave Kaepernick its highest honor, the 2018 Ambassador of Conscience Award, in Amsterdam. On past winners of awards, which celebrates individuals and groups who speak out for justice. Former awardees include former South African President Nelson Mandela, and many more. The organization recognized Kaepernick for his protests against police violence, his action kneeling during the national anthem before NFL games sparked a movement duplicated across America and around the world, starting a debate about free speech and patriotism that was inflamed by the President of the United States, by the former President of the United States, one of Kaepernick's most relentless critics. That's because he's ignorant. He didn't know any better. Fortunately, Colin Kaepernick, we salute you. We salute you. God bless you. Kaepernick got woke and suddenly morphed into the greatest civil rights hero we have seen, and I don't know since when. The greatest one, well, I'm older, so I have seen, I saw Martin Luther King, and I saw I've seen several, okay? But in these times, Kaepernick is the greatest civil rights hero that we have seen. He has been feted with multiple, or given multiple, or held up with multiple awards, book deals, movie offers, and advertisement opportunities, including Nike. And now Nike, that has featured Kaepernick, just won an Emmy Award. Fox Business reports Colin Kaepernick continues to be a hero of those who are determined to see racism eradicated from American society. The former NFL quarterback has become a saintly figure for his inception of the anti-American national anthem protest that spread like a virus. The Nike commercial, Dream Crazy, won an Emmy Award for Outstanding Commercial at the Creative Arts Emmys. Kaepernick, who started in Super Bowl for San Francisco in 2013 before struggling as opposing teams adopted his style of play and later lost his starting job, has become a lightning rod for controversy in recent years. You know, why do you have to be, well, no, you have to be a lightning rod. When you're down for change, you're a lightning rod. You have to be. He became the public face of the NFL players kneeling during the national anthem as a protest against social and racial injustice in America. The commercial features Serena Williams, LeBron James, and displays a message: believe in something if it means sacrificing everything. Kaepernick now runs a youth initiative called Know Your Rights, which was intentionally modeled after militant Black Panther education programs. We're going to be honoring the Black Panthers after Colin Kaepernick. His new mentors are all civil rights era socialists and critical race theory professors. Critical race theory basically searches for any disparities between whites and non-whites and attributes the difference and attributes the differences to to systemic racism. And it can't be really defined or quantified in any other way than to call it systemic racism, because it is permeated throughout the country. Every time it governs it holds black people back. We're held back. And so that's what they mean by systemic racism. It's everywhere. Young men can't get a break. Young black people can't get a break. And what I mean by that, we don't want anyone to give us anything, but open up the door so we can get it ourselves. In honor of Black history, open up the door, like James Brown said, so I can get it myself. I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Just open up the door so I can get it myself. So this is what we ask. This is what I demand. This is what we are demanding, particularly us older people. I'm 68. I'll be 69 this year. This is the time to set our legacy. Whatever we need to do, and I'm calling on black mothers. Whatever we need to do, let's do it. I'm calling on black men. Whatever we need to do, let's do it. Two notes before we end. I'm a little concerned, but I'm going to keep an open mind about the people who are inviting me to the round table to again discuss, not the round table, but to the table. Well, round means there's no head, so round is a good thing. To the table to again discuss how to save the black community, how to yada, yada, yada. And then I see I see the person narrating is someone who I went to when I first started advocating for finding a certificate of preference. I wanted to find out, when I was a newly licensed real estate broker, where's the list of the people that were displaced because of redevelopment. This person refused. It was the director then, refused to cooperate, refused to give me the list, didn't know where it was, and categorically looked me in my face and basically said, I'm not going to help you. So I'm hoping that this person has changed like I have. My passion is the same. I still want all of you guys, if you don't have your opportunity yet, if you don't have your house yet, if you're not living your best life yet, I want that for you too. And so I'm hoping that these same players who, we got to be careful with these nonprofit organizations and city-paid employees. They're limited in what they can do for us. So we need people that are profit-driven, people that are driven by the spirit to help others, people who have a track record. So this is what I say. Whoever's sitting at the table, my question is, what have you done for us lately? In the spirit of unity, I'm calling no names. In the spirit of unity, I'm saying I hope that you have grown like I've been blessed to grow. I've been blessed to grow, so I'm not calling names, and I'm not calling anyone out, and I choose not to do that. However, the people come first. In honor of Black history, let's place the people first. Let's place those that don't have first. Those of us that have, to whom much is given, much is required. God bless you. Know who you are. Honor your blackness. And peace and love to our Chinese community. Whoever you guys are that are attacking these older people, and especially the Chinese, cut it out. And those of us, if we see something, we're going to say something. And if we can do something, we're going to do something. We stand in solidarity with our Chinese community, with our Asian brothers and sisters. And remember, when we were fighting in the Black Panthers, we went to Chinatown and asked for help, and they came to help us. I have pictures. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next time. Honoring Black History on San Francisco News. I'm Diane Wesley Smith. Bye-bye. See you next time.